must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Today, thousands and thousands of Africans and many countries in Africa have conflicts. Notably, from Libya, Cameroon, Nigeria, Biafra, and Boko Haram, to Democratic Republic of Congo, of where we have seen a resurgence of the past military and conflicts coming back in that country. Hundreds and hundreds of people have been displaced, killed, maimed, tortured, raped, several of them dying of hunger, starvation, and other natural causes. The fighting seems not to be ending. For the sake of Libya, the Libyan recognized international government is under siege in Tripoli from another faction recognized by Egypt, France, UAE, and other countries. Whereas the one in Tripoli is recognized by the UN, it has been bombarded, has been strangulated, and many millions of Libyans are dying of hunger, lack of water. The water system has been cut off. The bombardment goes on. In Democratic Republic of Congo, we've seen more of active rebel activities returning to the region after some silence has been observed. When we come to Cameroon, we see millions and millions of Amazonians slaughtered. Yet, when you come to Biafra, again millions and hundreds of millions and millions are worried, displaced, tortured by the Buhari regime. Yet again in the north, we see Boko Haram killing, maiming, abducting, and burning down villages in the same Nigeria. When you cross over to Central African Republic, the same is the history that has littered Africa. While all these events are taking shape, Africa is silent. Africa is not making enough efforts to find a solution to what is causing the problems in Libya, in DRC, in Cameroon, in Nigeria, Biafra, and now you add in Khartoum, Sudan. As people die, the people of Africa have no answers, have no solutions. There is nothing to bring an end to the conflicts that have killed Africa. We seem to be new ones manufactured, old ones reignited, encouragement coming from external powers. One power that has been seen in the shadows of all these conflicts, especially the one of Libya that has escalated in the Sahara region of Africa, is France. When you come to Democratic Republic of Congo, the same country is in the shadows. The war can be seen is France. When you come to Cameroon, in Amazonia, the one behind that has the key to bringing peace is France. Therefore, our question as Africans, why are we silent? Why are we not saying enough is enough of the wars? Thank you. There are a number of countries in Africa that produce oil. Kenya today became one of the member states of oil producing countries in Africa. It exported its first oil where President Uhuru Kenyatta flagged off the oil that was got from Turkana in one of the northeastern parts of this country. But is oil a curse to Africa? Is oil a curse to the entire places where oil is found? We see in the Middle East, the wars in Iran, in Saudi Arabia, in Yemen, in United Arab Emirates. It has developed the area in Qatar. We all have many cities, skyscrapers coming up because of the proceeds from the oil. But can Africa emulate that example and bring the same oil proceeds to make sure that it makes lives better for the people, the betterment of the people of Africa and their families and their other activities? I want to see that. But I might not be able to explain why Africa always falls a victim. Are there external forces that make the oil in Africa to become sour? Is it the competition of the oil companies, Total and Shell BP and others that come to Africa to take the share of the oil? Simply because we have no energy, ability to be able to drill the oil ourselves, refine it ourselves. It is shocking, therefore, to go to Nigeria, for example, a country that produces third in the world for oil production, has no petrol at petrol station. Is this not a curse? If it's not a curse, what do you call it? Thank you. Good afternoon or good afternoon or good evening. I think it's 3 p.m. East African time. Do we call it evening? I don't know. But good afternoon wherever you are in Africa. Good afternoon wherever you are in the continent of Africa, the great continent of this planet. Wherever you are in China, just give prayers, and those prayers to God that this goes away from us. Oh God, we don't know how it is. Wherever you are in Russia, in America, good morning. Good morning and good morning, good afternoon in London. Thank you very much in Europe, in The Hague, and a good afternoon in Abuja, Nigeria. Today's topic on MATSANGA Africa Perspective is simple, straightforward. Nigeria. Nigeria, the state, has collapsed. With me in the studio to take the people of Africa before I do my rituals is none other than Miriam Ogutu, my co-presenter, my everything attached in terms of media. Welcome to the show, Miriam Ogutu.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And we missed you in the morning. Our viewers.
Yes, I was busy writing many other things, making sure that the component of these studios and other television stations, we work together. And I was looking through so many researching. But I'm here now. Any questions that you might have missed in the morning, the gentleman is in the studio. The moving dictionary of political science in Africa is here. The Pan-African himself is here. Good afternoon, Africa. Thank you very much. Nigeria poses a problem. Nigeria is a big economy of this world of ours called African continent. Nigeria, in the last 40 years, there were several military coups that made Nigeria a military barracks, other than a civilian population. Many people, millions and millions of Nigerians, both the Fulani and the Igbo, lost lives. A civil war that broke up in 1966 ended in 1967 with millions of people killed, brought about a new hope that Nigeria would move to a prosperous nation, a united nation that can give Africa a shining torch. Instead, today, Nigeria remains a shattered country without hope of whether people will live today or tomorrow. The killings in all areas from Maiduguri, south in Port Harcourt, or north in Enugu, Onitsha, Lagos, all those states in southeastern Nigeria are suffering killings, torture, maiming, kidnap, rape, defilement, to some extent, conditionally putting people under hunger. In a nutshell, it is a very dangerous situation in Nigeria. We can't describe it. The pictures that we get of torture of civilians, these are not photocopy or photoshops. These are real pictures coming from the ground in those areas of southeastern Nigeria and north of Nigeria, where Boko Haram is killing people at will, kidnapping people at will, kidnapping women, younger children, young girls, enslaving them, making them women at a tender age of as far as 9 years, 8 years. This is happening in Africa today as we speak. As we speak, millions are displaced. As we speak, millions have no food. As we speak, millions are being tortured. As we speak, millions are in prisons all over southeastern Nigeria. The entire Nigeria is in chaos, to the extent that the Catholic bishops yesterday told their congregations to wear black in order to come and pray to Jesus Christ, to God, to help us get out of this mess that has engulfed Nigeria under President Muhammad Buhari. President Buhari is a disgrace to Africa. I'm sorry. If you want me to say he's worth a president, I'm sorry, I will not say. He's a disgrace because Boko Haram kills people. But President Buhari does not want the African continent to involve itself in the search for a solution to remove Boko Haram. Is such a leader for the African people or for zombies? I think he's a leader for a zombie, or he's a zombie himself. I'm sorry to use these hard words, but Your Excellency President Mohamed Buhari, you have disgraced Africa. You have destroyed a shining example. If you remember the founding fathers of Africa, the founding fathers like Baba Tafawa Balewa, if you woke up from the grave today and saw what Nigeria is going through, if you woke up and looked at the horizons of the Atlantic Ocean to see how Nigeria is operating, how the economy is functioning, how corruption has destroyed the same country that Baba Tafawa Balewa stood for, agitated for independence from the British colonial masters, he would die twice in the grave. Viewers, the situation is not even finished. We haven't described Nigeria at all. It's collapsed. It's an economy, a huge economy, over 220 million people, with fraud in elections. 84 million people vote, are registered to vote. On the 28th, turn up. 54 sit home. Buhari walks around AU, European Union, London, and other places saying he's the head of a Nigerian government. Which government is this? I'm not a Nigerian, but I'm a Pan-African whose spirit of Baba Tafawa Balewa runs in my blood. I'm an African whose spirit of Kwame Nkrumah runs in my blood. I'm an African whose spirit of Emperor Haile Selassie runs through my blood. The spirit of Jomo Kenyatta, Nyerere, Obote, Machel, Lumumba, Agustini Neto, Nelson Mandela runs through my blood. The spirit of Benabera, the spirit of Gameo Nasa, the people who have stood and spoke out against imperialism, against the forces that made us first to kill each other, then later on to give us independence. That spirit runs through me. I therefore give it to you that Nigeria is a shame to us. And therefore, let me hand over to Madam Miriam to read the facts, some facts, bring down the facts. That's the record, the data. Then I go home hammering point by point. Arbitrary at detention. Buhari, is it there or not there? It is there. We shall do a checklist. Thank you very much. Over to you, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much, and a very good afternoon to your viewers. Continue writing to us. We shall be going through some of your comments in a very short bit. Even as we look at Nigeria, who right now is almost becoming the sick child of Africa because it is becoming the epicenter of insecurity in Africa. We thought Al-Shabaab was running a mayhem in this part of Africa, the East African countries, especially in Somalia itself, and they tried in Kenya, but it was stopped. But what we are seeing seeing right now happening in Nigeria, every African, we should all get worried, because unless President Buhari gets this in check, then we are in for not very good times ahead because of the developments that have been coming from Nigeria there. So we see, outside of arbitrary arrests that are detentions and torture and ill treatment. Remember, Sayora, his name is who? The activist and the journalist. He's still in prison with impunity, and the High Court already ruled that he should be removed last year. He was arrested last year, Sawore, in August, I think. He's still in prison. President Buhari has refused arbitrary detention. So that goes against even the constitution of Nigeria itself. And then the pervasive ethnic stereotyping. What is happening right now? Even the bishops, doctor, you mentioned there, who were talking yesterday, I think it was Ash Friday for the Catholics, they came out and they were saying that they made very important point, and they did not mince their word while addressing this runaway security in Nigeria. And at the Bishop Conference in Nigeria yesterday, they said the federal government had not shown willingness to end the spate of killings by Boko Haram insurgents and the herdsmen, the Fulani terrorists there in Nigeria. The bishops, that is what they told Mr. Buhari, because this stereotyping, Fulanis have been used as a tool to kill other communities.
Miriam, you are right. You have a point. Fulani have been armed, not used by Buhari, by a section of Buhari government to kill other Nigerians. When you are in Abuja, you are told you go home. Where is home? Where is home when you are in Abuja? When you are in Enugu? When you are in the north, in Maiduguri, you are told, if you are Igbo, you are told to go home. So where is home? We have a Federal Republic of Nigeria. And this Federal Republic of Nigeria is for Nigerians, all of them. But if the Igbo are being told to go home in their own states, if someone is arming a cross-section of militia, of men armed, about 6 months ago, over 100,000 knives were intercepted in Nigeria, in Lagos, Port Harcourt, on their way into Nigeria. To do what? To kill people. Why do you import 100,000 knives for? Long swords for killing, slaughtering other tribes. Nigeria is the biggest economy. The population of Nigeria can make East Africa very rich. Because if each of them bought one piece of omo, $1 each, East Africa will not need schools. East Africa will not need dispensary. But it will have the best schools, the best dispensary. Because that's $200 million at once. If we export coffee to Nigeria, we shall have that money. If Nigeria stabilizes its economy, East African region, the entire Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, Tanzania, is one Nigeria. We are struggling in East Africa to form an East African Federation. But if we had a partner of 200 million people across in West Africa, on the Atlantic Ocean shores, we would sell our cabbages. If each African is eating one cabbage per day, a farmer in East Africa will gain a lot of money and pay school fees. The roads will be good ones. Dispensaries will have medicine. Here we have spoiled Nigeria. We have killed Nigeria. It's gone. Mr. Buhari has destroyed Nigeria. That's it. And for me, as a Pan-African, I don't have any good words for Mr. Buhari.
So was the Catholic bishops yesterday. And apart from saying that President Buhari was unwilling to fight Boko Haram, they also said that he's very insincere and lacks the commitment to protect lives and property in the country. So I'm asking, as a president, when you're sworn in as a president, as a head of state, the security of your people should be the first thing that you consider, that the lives of the people you lead are secure and they're safe in their own country and their property. When you're taking that oath of office, why is this person still in office even after failing to ensure that the people that he is leading?
But is he the real person? There is a question that lingers every time when we see Mr. Buhari. Maybe I am about to conclude that Mr. Buhari is Mr. Jibril that the people are talking about.
Because of his
inaction. The inaction. The guy promised us that when he takes power, he is going to make sure that Boko Haram goes in 100 days.
And that was in his first term.
Instead, he has just shown us his councils and his height. He's the tallest president on the African continent. Whenever you see him in Addis Ababa, you think there is some sense. But there's no sense. We have lost it. We have lost Nigeria. The army has turned on killing the civilians. I have to cry. And like I cried for Sudan, for South Sudan. Are we crying anymore? Riak is there. We are waiting. If he makes any funny mistakes, then we go in.
He can't, because IGAD now has lifted the sanction. He can move freely and just perform his functions.
He can come and greet Dr. MATSANGA.
Yes, now he can come.
It's free, yes, because I'm his savior. Yes. So come and greet me, Dr. Riak Machar. I'm free. I'm free, and I will soon visit Juba to make sure that we go back to where we ended. But you are now free to come. But preach peace. Buhari is a mercenary. Buhari still has 1967 syndrome of killing Igbo. Buhari has that heart. He has not healed. Because him and Jacob Gowon and the Obasanjos, they teamed up to kill these Igbo people. Now Buhari has taken power eventually. He has not forgiven them. Even from 1967 to date, he has not forgiven these guys. Yet they form the biggest population ever in Nigeria. Out of 200 million people, the Igbo are over 70 million people. It's a full country in East Africa. No, there's no country in East Africa that has 70 million people.
Could be the population of the whole of East Africa.
Yes.
Almost. Not quite there, but
they are being killed.
Yes.
If you look, I can't show these pictures. Viewers, I'm very disturbed. That's why I'm talking like this. If you have any comment, call us on +254 795 638. The number 145. It is here. Express your anger. Be short. Be precise. Tell us where you are calling from. Don't fear. You can even use a pseudonym. No problem.
You want them to express their anger. Okay, it's not going to turn to be a therapy session, but just
it's not a therapy session.
Speak your truth.
It is speak up your mind.
Your truth, and tell us what is really happening in the situation.
Because we have people, they have sent me hundreds and thousands of videos. Some of them are very bad videos, viewers, that I cannot show to the people of Kenya. I therefore Over to you, to Miriam.
Indeed. And Doctor, speaking about the bishops also yesterday, while they were making those very important comments, and they're now calling on the international community to come to the aid of Nigerian government in the fight against Boko Haram insurgency and Fulani terrorists who, as they said in quote, wants to graze the country. But the grazing of the country, that is even a program that Mr. Buhari started that should allow Fulanis to graze anywhere around Nigeria. Basically, he is preparing them to take over all of Nigeria without even a care or being sensitive to other communities that also they coexist with in this country. Do you think this calls for the international community to come and help Nigeria? This is something that President Buhari will even pay attention to.
International community, yes. To come and help Nigeria, yes. To come and help the Igbo people, yes. Mr. Nnamdi Kanu was invited in the United States Congress.
Yes.
Yes, that's a good sign, a very serious sign.
Hold on, in the United States Congress?
Yes.
The other time he was in Trump's rally. Now he's there.
Nigeria, as a result of the bad manners of Mr. Buhari, has been added on a terrorist ban list of America. This is sad. This is a first-class country that we should never have allowed to go that route. Buhari, look at the punishments. This is barbaric. The flow of guns from the Sahara region. This is affecting the entire Sahara region. They cut people's limbs. Boko Haram is mutilating one side. The Nigerian army is killing the other side.
And the Fulanis.
The Fulani herdsmen are killing on this other side. Boko Haram is killing in the north. The army itself is slaughtering in the south. The army that was supposed to guard the people of Nigeria, this time kills the people of Nigeria. Is this a state? Is this a state that Africa can be proud of?
And Doctor, even as you speak, there's a news I had here in the morning in regards to this matter, because we had a short conversation during our morning show, but I didn't want to talk too much about it because I knew you will come. But there's something I mentioned earlier on the show, some news that was really disturbing. While there were some soldiers who were stationed at a certain place, they were fighting, was meant to be fighting Boko Haram. So one soldier turned and killed 4 of his colleagues and injured 2 and killed himself. And I was just wondering, are these the repentant Boko Haram that have been recruited back to the Nigerian army, and now they're killing other soldiers there, and the government is not aware that they could have recruited back jihadists? Because why would a soldier...
Yes, we have a caller. Yes, speak up, please. Just a minute as we adjust your microphone. Yeah, we hear you, but you have to speak up.
Okay. My name is Nelson. I'm calling from Nigeria, Lagos State.
Yes. Are you hearing? Yeah, we are picking you loud and clear. You state where you are speaking from. Oh no, we lost.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. We are busy. We are only taking calls for people online. Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, our viewers. We apologize for that, but if you want to call us, Doctor, maybe you can remind them the
if
number.
you want to call us, call us on +254 795 638 145 Nairobi, Kenya. Pan-African station. We are ready to take your calls. Be precise, short. Tell us where you are. If you fear not to tell us where you are, just say you are in Africa. Yeah, because Buhari men are walking everywhere in the world killing people.
You never know.
Whatever they say, we are here.
You never know.
So there are calls, we are waiting for you. Any caller, this is the call. Call us. Thank you, Miriam. Let's go on.
So as I was saying, now there were soldiers who are situated somewhere strategic. They're trying to fight Boko Haram in Nigeria. And this soldier turned against his colleagues and killed 4 of them and also injured 2 and also killed himself, Doctor. Is this not a jihadist?
It's a jihadist. Oh, we have a caller.
Are these the soldiers?
We have a caller from Sudan, South Sudan. Yes, caller. Yes. Yes. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling from Juba.
From Juba, yes. Thank you very much from Juba. What is the situation in Juba, the capital city of South Sudan?
Yeah. Juba is cool on fire. This is a peaceful area. But I'm a Jaffa man in Nigeria. So I heard what you were saying. Very, very, very okay. And, thank God that you are saying the truth and you and they say the truth.
Okay, thank you. You made your point. Let's take another caller. Caller, how are you? Yes, how are you?
Everything you are saying is true. And they are killing us people too much. I don't know why the international community doesn't want to intervene in what they are doing on every day. So I thank you what you are doing and I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Keep on calling. Keep on calling. Let the world hear your voice. Wherever you are, we can see a caller from Nigeria, Onitsha. Call again. We are here to take your views. We are journalists. Our role is to shout and shout for Africa. That's it. Thank you very much. Don't worry, we are using several mechanisms here. And Miriam, take it. You were saying a soldier. This soldier was killing people.
He was stationed at a place with other soldiers. So all of a sudden he turns to his colleagues. He murders 4 soldiers. He injures 2 and also kills himself. And they were supposed to be fighting Boko Haram. Is this soldier not a jihadist? Are they the repentant Boko Haram we've been told that have been joining the Nigerian army? Because why would a soldier want to kill his colleagues and murder himself? And they are in the
I think these are terrorists who disguised and entered to kill more of Nigerian army.
Those
because
who are fighting, legitimately fighting.
Yes. So these are some of the things that we need to correct as Africans. Arbitrary arrest, killing, slaughter, maiming, defilement, rape, starvation as a policy. Buhari, Gowon, and the rest of the commanders, the non-Igbo commanders, used that policy to kill Igbos in millions. But behind this facade, the enemy behind, I don't want to bring it here. Who is behind these killings? Who is empowering Nigeria, the government, which is already rotten, to go on killing people? 2 companies, Shell BP and Total Oil. I want to ask you, the side of Total Oil is, if you find Obasanjo tells you he's the chairman of Alcatel for life, a life chairman. Institutions are supposed to have democratic forms, but we have a problem. We have another caller. Yes, caller, be precise.
Hello, I'm calling from Libya. I'm in Nigeria.
You are in Libya.
Thank you.
Are you in Libya?
Yes.
Are you safe in Libya?
No, I'm in Nigeria.
You are.
Yes.